Hello everybody and welcome to Tino with ThinkLiterary. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that wrong. Alright, welcome to ThinkLiterary. My name is Tino. I'm excited to be broadcasting to you today from the cradle of civilization. I'm talking about where it all started. I'm broadcasting to you from the cradle of civilization, South Florida. So today we're going to be talking about a book that I really enjoyed. That book is Bambi by Felix Salten. Now this is Bambi, A Life in the Woods. That's the full title. Bambi, A Life in the Woods. So if you're looking for this book online, don't just buy any Bambi that you come across, because it might be a children's book, it might be like paraphrased, it might be anything, you know? So get Bambi, A Life in the Woods by Felix Salten. To hit you with some facts before we start. Actually, I want to first say that this is a book that really surprised me. I loved this book. I usually only, turn a couple pages in a book, but this one I turned like every other page. So that shows you how much I liked it. I found it really beautiful. I found it to be sad. It was like heartwarming and heartbreaking and very wise. So I was really surprised with this book. If you haven't read it, before even the review starts, go out and get this book and read it and buy it. Like, this is an awesome book. So like I said, throwing out some facts. All right, throwing out some facts. Really quickly. So like I said, written by Felix Salten. I don't know where he's from. If I had to throw out a guess, it'd be Austria. But that's a pure guess. This was illustrated by Barbara Cooney. So good job, Barbs. You did it, Barbs. Barbara Cooney illustrated this, and in my mind, she did a great job. I'll talk about the illustrations a little bit later. This is a minstrel book by Pocket Books, published by Simon and Schuster. If you want to hear that again, just rewind and play it again. This was published in 1988. I'm talking about this one right here. This copy was published in 1988. I think this was originally written in the early 1900s. Sorry about that. I just ate a star fruit. If you know what a star fruit is, it's right here. That's a star fruit. Like I said, probably published in the early 1900s. At least I think so. This copy right here is 191 pages. That's all narrative. There is no introduction in this, and it doesn't end with, some rambling. This is all 191 pages, what you're going to read when you read this. All right, let's get into it. I loved this book. I'm going to really quickly talk about kind of the architecture of the book. And what I mean by that is kind of the layout and stuff like that. I don't mean like the sentence structure or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about the physical image of the book and stuff like that. And then I'm going to get into a different style of book review where I'm going to actually point out some passages and tell you what they meant to me. Because this book to me was a personal book. All right, what I got from this book was a personal feeling, a feeling of like learning something, of like getting wisdom and like growing and like, it really spoke to the human condition to me. So I'm going to be doing that by just picking out a passage and telling you the context of it. And hopefully you could learn something from that, from all you out there who are just avid readers, or those people who are writing book report for college or high school, or doing a study of this for college, or literature of the time period and country and stuff like that. So like I said, I just want to go through the physical image of the book, the architecture of the book. This cover, I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. I really like the cover, though maybe it could present a little bit of a childish air to the book. You see the scroll being laid out, a little bit of a fairy tale vibe there. But this book is for adults. Don't be fooled, everybody. This book is for adults. Really nice maroon color there. To get to the back, Bambi, the Prince of the Forest. So this is really a nice book. And something I really enjoyed about this, it says the reading level on it. This is a 6.1. Everybody remember that when you're in school doing the reading level? And let me tell you, I was the boss. I was a reading level boss. Like I said, reading is my gift. So I can read a book. So I had, I would put that reading level to shame, just utter shame. So the illustrations. First of all, that cover illustration is great, fantastic. To me, that looks like oil paint, but it might be something else. Who knows? But it looks like oil paint to me. And the interior illustrations of this book are very different. These look like charcoal drawings. They're very dark and very nice in this edition. They're not like vague, or they're not like shallow. You know, sometimes you can get a copy and they come out like very like, you know, they're just the darks don't come out dark, so it just all looks washed out. This, they look really nice. The darks are dark, so you get, you know, a sense of, especially in this image, a sense of distance. You know, with these guys back here and this guy up here, just hanging out, just having a good time, just being deer. So like I said, this looks like somebody was like drew with charcoal on the page. It looks like somebody just drew this for me. You know, like either it can be like dark graphite or charcoal, but it looks like it was drawn in the book. That's how nice the illustrations are, and they're very good. They're very simple. They capture the moments. This is a really pretty one that I like. They're really pretty, really nice and simple. All right, so good job, Barb. You always do a great job, Barb. So I don't know what other books she's illustrated, but I'm sure she has illustrated some other ones. So now, like I said, I'm gonna hit you with some passages about this book. Some passages, bro. So so ladies, get ready, and dudes, hang on. So I just want to talk about some ideas that jumped out to me at first. Just go through these, not really talk about them at all though. Seasons play a role in this book. The seasons changing. Seasons mean things are changing, things are growing. That plays a big part in this book, growing. Man plays a part in this book, and I mean mankind. I mean woman and mankind. Play a part in this book. What does it mean to be a human being? What role does a human being play in the world? All right, we're going to talk about hunting. Hunting is pretty bad negative in this book. It's seen as, you know, really just kind of messed up, like worse than any animal would do, pretty much, or at least as bad, and kind of more cunning and malicious, and you know, weird in a planned way. Maturity plays in this. Maturity, person coming of age, Bambi coming of age in this, all the characters coming of age. So trust plays a big part in this. Who do you trust? Do you trust your parents? Do you trust your friends? Do you trust your enemies? Wink on that one. Do you trust your elders? Cruelty, like hunting, plays a part in this book. Animals being cruel to each other at the drop of a hat. At one time, you know, an owl will be talking to the mice, and then the owl's eating that mouse. You know, cruelty of man to animals and things like that, especially like if he should be acting better, why is he killing the animals and stuff like that? If he should be more advanced, why is he being more malicious, just killing for fun instead of killing for need, like the animals do? The animals kill for need. And then I'd like to shout out to Gobo. Gobo, man, you got played, homie. I pity you, bro. Shout out to Gobo. So let's get into it. I had planned on pulling out a couple more passages, but with the time on here, I'm gonna probably only do 2. So let's start one from the beginning. And these are just, you know, I'm just pulling these out at random of the pages that I bent. So in this scene, we have Bambi and his mother. Really beautiful scene. Bambi is pretty much just born, and he is walking with his mother, and he sees something kill a mouse, whether it's an owl or whatever. It kills a mouse, and then Bambi asks her, "Shall we kill a mouse too sometime?" And then, "No," replied his mother. "Never?" asked Bambi. "Never," came the answer. "Why not?" asked Bambi, relieved. "Because we never kill anything," said his mother simply. Bambi grew happy again. Super beautiful to start off the book. That's right on page 16. And I'm telling you, that's like every other page in this book. Is some depth and some beauty in that. Because he doesn't want to kill anything. He sees that from a detached standpoint, and he does not want anything to be done, or should have, not a detached standpoint, from a he's just, you know, he sees that, and he witnesses from a child's perspective. He knows it's wrong. He's happy that he doesn't have to kill anything. I'd like to say go vegan to all y'all out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will. All right, so now I'm going to talk about this. All right. Anyway, it was just... I'm going to skip this one. Go on to the next one. All right. Now this is this one has some weight. All right, I'm just going to start reading. You can see that for yourself. It's much more likely... They're talking about he, who they describe as, you know, humankind. You can see that for yourself. It's much more likely that it's a tooth that he throws at us. A tooth would explain a great many things, you know. You really die from his bite. They're talking about the man carrying a gun and shooting them. Will he never stop hunting us? Young Kara sighed. Then Marina spoke, the young half-grown doe. They say that sometime he'll come to live with us and be as gentle as we are. He'll play with us, and then the whole forest will be happy, and we'll be friends with him. Old Netla burst out laughing. Let him stay where he is and leave us in peace, she said. And Aunt Ina said reprovingly, you shouldn't talk that way. All right, now this is a big point to me because this demonstrates kind of youthful naivete. Marina spoke. She was the young half-grown doe, and she speaks. She wants to love man. For some reason, this is a theme that comes up. This is something that comes up in real life as well, in human life, when you always have that random person who wants to love the bad guy, and they're innocent, and that's why they love him. They're naive, and they'll see the good in everything, and they'll want everything. They'll believe that everything has a good side, and this is what she, the young half-doe, believes about man, about him. But really, he's a hunter, and he only sees them to hunt them. He does save Gobo, but he does that. That was just one of the men, and he probably just did it for fun. But as a whole, they're hunters and stuff like that. So she's expressing this this tragic naivete because it's tragic because it has tragic repercussions later on. This is a big foreshadowing point in the book. This book is a tragedy, and it's a very beautiful tragedy. Okay, though it ends as a romance, I think. All right. All right. So now we're going to talk about the old stag. There's a section of this book where Bambi bumps into the old stag, who's actually his father. Okay, I think that's made pretty clear, so that's not a spoiler. And Bambi sees the old stag, and they're having kind of this thinking match where they're each thinking about the other one. And the old stag, the stag was wonderfully majestic. It delighted Bambi and made him feel humble. He tried in vain to arouse his courage and kept asking himself, why do I let him frighten me? Am I not as good as he is? So that's Bambi's thought about the stag. And then the old stag looks at him, and he thinks he's handsome, he's really charming, so delicate, so poised, so elegant in his whole bearing. I must not stare at him, though. It really isn't the thing to do. Besides, it might embarrass him. So he stared over Bambi's head into the empty air again. This speaks a lot to father-son relations, and I guess mother-daughter relations, in which, especially in the father-son relationship, it's like you always try to act noble, and you don't want to give too much away. And this talk that they have with themselves is very beautiful, and I'm just going to tell you the page number for that. That's 120 in my book. And you know, this shyness, the fact that the old stag is shy, he's still shy, speaks a lot to me. Now I'm going to cut this off before it passes. Sorry about that. Before it passes the 15-minute mark. My name is Tino, and this is Think Literary. I hope you enjoyed the review. Check out my Instagram at Think Literary. I post pictures and stuff, and this will be on there. A cool little Bambi style picture. And I'll see you next time. Bye.